Welcome to Balancing Acts. I'm your host, Linda Hamilton. I'm a CPA and certified exit planning advisor. And Grow Profit Scale is Balancing Acts is about a guide to grow profit and scale. And today's topic is about leadership, whether you want to lead into chaos or choose not to have chaos. And we have an expert with us today, Eric Himes. He's a leadership coach, a speaker, and he helps people reclaim their time, energy, and purpose through his work and his company Inspired Culture System. He teaches professionals and parents alike how to lead with confidence and while staying grounded, centered, and connected to what matters most. Eric, welcome to the show. I can't wait to talk to you about how your inspired culture system is different from so many other systems about employees and culture that is out there. So let's start with how about leading the whole person? Like, why does inspiration beat motivation? So many systems use short-term tactics, right? Trying to change behavior. But you focus on long-term identity-based leadership and team development. What can you tell us about what your system is different in this area?
Yeah, definitely. And you hit on it, motivation versus inspiration. Motivation is driven by energy only. And those are external energy factors mainly, right? So anything that might get us excited to get us started, we're energized, we're motivated by any extrinsic rewards, right? That's motivating. Intrinsic, though, being inspired is a much deeper root system in leadership and as an individual. And so the inspired culture plays off of a framework that we've designed to create intrinsic team members at all levels within the organization. And that intrinsic leadership really brings what I would say is the real energy to being successful. And that's where the passion comes, because there's purpose in it. And so our culture design works through a number of things, from personality profiles to vulnerability analysis, to helping people identify who they are at the core and developing their own personal why, and teaching them how that ties out into the organizational why and the functions and the roles that they play. And so this holistic approach that we take with each individual gives them the ability to win, and knowing that they matter most in the organization that they work in. And so there's a huge opportunity through the inspired culture framework for people to understand that they have purpose, they know what it is, and they know what it generates and creates on the other end with the efforts that they put into the work that they're responsible for.
That's great. And, I often do a lot of these self-awareness assessments. I've done many of them. You can just curiosity about me as a business owner and a leader, and how I some of my quirks. How do they affect my team? How is it I can kind of encourage them to be their best, right, and to reach their best potential. So, how does your system help leaders develop self-awareness?
Yes, I love that question, and because that's everything. I'm learning every day about myself, and we've been doing this for a while. The reality is that there's always, through growth, there's always new things to learn, and we're always learning about ourselves. And awareness and perspective, I believe, is everything. So our system is designed through a number of personality profiles, through vulnerability testing, and then through our workshops that we have, such as being the 50 Masks of Leadership or the Inspired Culture Workshop, or a number of others. But these dig in deep. What we want to do is present simple solutions that help people see what they can't see, and create environments that are safe for them to see it, their peers to see it, and then everybody help each other through it. And so that's really important, because we can do something with that when we know it and we can go with it. And so our framework, there isn't many tools out there that will say, hey, this is the persona. This is what you believe you're getting by wearing the mask. This is then the cost to the culture for wearing that mask. This is the cost to your career for wearing it. This is how you overcome it. These are the tools that you have to develop working through it. And then this is what you get on the other end of it. So we have a 7-step process that helps people unveil their mask to bring self-awareness, but there's no like mystery, because mystery is scary, right? It's like, well, if I do this, what's going to happen over here? Well, I don't know. Well, we're letting you know what's going to happen.
It is.
And there's a lot of benefit to that.
Right. You know, you used the word mask, but you also mentioned, I think you used the word vulnerability assessment twice. Vulnerability it's what do you mean by that? Because that's a difficult word for many of us, right? Being vulnerable. Are we showing a weakness that someone can take advantage of? So what do you mean by vulnerability?
Yeah. So we can either live in a place of fear to where we hide ourselves from everybody else, or we can live in a place of strength, standing firm on vulnerability, where everybody can see us for who we are. The thing that we have to overcome as individuals in every leadership role is deciding, am I going to lead boldly or lead from a place of scarcity and fear? Fear would say, I'm going to protect myself because I'm not sure if everybody is willing to really accept me, or I've been conditioned for years as a leader that I have to be perfect and I can't show weakness. Well, the truth is we're all imperfect, and we all have areas of growth and opportunity. And so instead of us looking over the fence at the person next to us saying, well, I can't believe they screwed that up, or they really made a mess of things, if we all looked internally, we'd have a better success rate at winning together. Because really, I don't have any control over anything that sits on the left or the right of me. I can only take responsibility for myself and how I show up as a leader, as I show up as a friend, as I show up in my life, to really pursue what it is that I've been given to do. So the vulnerability aspect, the more you're allowed people to see you and the more comfortable you are and who you are, that's your greatest strength. And it's the greatest gift because you've already met your match internally. And so once you win that war, it's open season, because the opportunities in front of you, you can tackle without being crippled by fear.
Exactly. That's so insightful. And I think that's important for us to remember, because I think we often forget that there's nothing wrong with being vulnerable and learning about ourselves. You talk about leading the whole person. What does that look like in practice? And does it apply? We're talking about the leader. So who's the business owner in most of our audience are business owners. Or does that apply to our team members as well?
Sure. So leading the whole person, the hardest person to ever lead will be yourself, right? Because nobody knows what they don't know. And, I'm not accountable to anybody else. So we have to have systems to hold ourselves accountable, right? And coaches are also great assets for that because they'll help drive accountability. So we take a holistic approach and we have a framework to do that. We believe that leading your whole self in every area of life is really, really important, because we don't think you need to sacrifice your home life for your work life, for your work life for your home life, or personal growth and development. All of those can happen at a reasonable pace, right? Where you're being fulfilled on a daily basis. And so what we have to do is not overweight any part of our life saying, well, I'm going to put all my eggs in this basket. Say it's the career basket, right? That's an easy one to see. I'm going to climb the ladder all the way to the top. And I'm going to do everything I can. But when you get to the top, you find out that it's empty, right? It's not fulfilling because you actually didn't invest in the other areas of your life. And then those took a back seat, or there was challenges placed on relationships and marriages and whatnot, because you didn't invest where you were supposed to invest equally. And so you sacrificed one area of life for another. But when you find out, the fulfillment and the wholeness that you were looking for was never there to begin with. But it's a trick, right? It's a mirage. What we think is there when we get there isn't, from a fulfillment standpoint. So holistically, we got to take control and lead intentionally what it is that we want to do. Personally, for me, I've set some pretty big goals, and those are things that I want to accomplish. One is creating this company, Inspo. Another is running all the major marathons around the world, and finishing on every one of them. Right now, I'm a 5-time marathon finisher. It's writing books, to other things, and it's also being an incredible husband and an incredible dad, and one that follows Christ. And so that's the core of my foundation. And for me, and that brings me inspiration every single day. And so I use my scorecard systems to making sure that I have on the agenda what's most important. And then I'm pursuing that along with winning, right? And knocking off weekly goals, 60-day goals, and OKRs. Those are 1 and 5 year growth strategies. And then visionary growth objectives for me, myself personally, and what I want to accomplish. And those have been designed and created by Inspo, these visionary growth objectives. So we have a vision for ourselves, and we're not reacting to the world, right? The world's great at taking.
Right. Exactly.
Allow yourself to be taken advantage of, or be unintentional with your time. It's just going to escape, right?
Right. And we're coming near the end of this segment before we break for a commercial. Thank you for your advice. It really hit home, and I'm glad to hear you have all those goals, as I think so many business owners do. And I think it's helpful to know that none of us are alone on that. How can people find you if they want to connect with you on maybe on LinkedIn or your website?
Yeah, definitely. And one other thing I just wanted to say about leaders: you don't need a title to lead yourself. In that, just so you're aware. And then where you can find me is www.yourpathinspired.com, or on my LinkedIn profile, The Inspired Culture, Inspo Strategic Advising and Coaching. We work with companies all over, and we help them intentionally invest in inspired cultures.
Thank you. And stay with us. Eric's going to do another segment. We're going to talk about why inspiration is more impactful than motivation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.